must be going through that loneliness, that fear, मैं बताऊं नहीं बताऊं. You were already fighting. अंदर भी जंग चल रही है, बाहर भी जंग लड़नी है. कैसे आपने पापा को, मम्मी को बताया वो?
The world is not safe for a queer kid. My parents really wanted to have a boy. जब लड़का पैदा हुआ तो ये.
How did the family take it? Like, what was your father's reaction?
I think that broke my father's heart, Punjabi father's heart, much more than me coming out as gay. My father had many openly gay friends. Friends like Mr. Anil Nanda, who used to run escorts, to Rohit Bar, Amarnath, who's the owner of Neem Rana hotels. These were people, Amarnath and Ritu Dalmia were also petitioners in the 377 case. These were friends of my father. My mom and dad were very busy building their empire, and they really wanted me to study hospitality. I had a very strong will and I had a very strong mind, and I said no. To be really honest, I wanted to do drama. I wanted to learn film and theatre, but that was not an option. Decriminalization of homosexuality had happened in 2009 in the Delhi High Court. So when I came out, it was still a criminal offence in India. I've only talked to you about gay and lesbian. I have not talked to you about transgender. Because in India, transgender has had a separate battle. Trans community को बोला था कि आप सिर्फ सेक्स वर्क कर सकते हो या आप बेगिंग कर सकते हो या बधाई कर सकते हो. तो उनको बस यही सिखाया था.
20 years of fight. ना fight किया एक basic चीज़ के लिए, which is to identify yourself as part of the country and look at us as us. आज नेक्स्ट इन लाइन पर हम एक ऐसे गेस्ट से मिलने जा रहे हैं जिनकी कहानी सिर्फ बिजनेस स्टोरी की नहीं, एक बैटल, एक बिलीफ और एक पर्सनल ब्रेवरी की कहानी रही है. केशव सूरी, एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर ऑफ द ललित होटल्स, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ट्रस्टेड होटल ब्रांड्स ऑफ द कंट्री. पर उनकी कहानी इनहेरिटेड लेगेसी तक सीमित नहीं रही है. ही इज वन ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट फ्लैग बेयरर ऑफ lgbtq+ कम्युनिटी इन इंडिया. और 2018 में he was one of the first petitioners to scrap Article 377. And after doing so, he brought a lot of honor for his own community. एक legacy को inherit करना, खुद को accept करना और पूरी country के सामने stand लेना कितना मुश्किल रहा होगा. How did he balance identity with responsibility? There is so much to ask from him. Let's welcome him today. Welcome to Nexxt in Line, Keshav.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's so good to have you. First things first, I would like to know, I think everybody wants to know that in your childhood, when usually, you know, एक normal childhood रहता है, आप स्कूल जाते हैं, आप बड़े होते हैं, and then family business join कर रहे होते हैं, ये सोच रहा होता है एक बच्चा. But you've had not the normal childhood, let me just put it that way. So what was that point, or when did you realize that this is not you and you are something else, and you were probably, the world will not accept this or not accept this? What was that feeling all about?
Yeah. So thank you for having me, but I have to say that the pleasure is all yours, not mine. No, I'm joking. My childhood was interesting. It was an experience. It's not an experience that everybody gets to have. I was different from a very young age, and I knew I was different. I'm the youngest of 4 children, and my parents, my father, really wanted to have a boy. और जब लड़का पैदा हुआ तो ये. So I have 3 older sisters, but I have to say that whilst they may have really wanted a boy, I was deeply rooted in feminism because I was surrounded by such strong feminine energy.
Sure.
Including my father was also surrounded by the same feminine energy. So in some level, he must have been a deep-rooted feminist himself. I was in an all-boys school, St. Columbus. It was a Catholic school. It was a day boarding school. It was at one point a very famous school in Delhi. And a lot of us kids would go there because they used to teach English. Now I know English has become a bad term to use, but at that time, parents wanted their kids to have great English. So, so we were there. School was an interesting experience. It was, I would say, at the same time, freeing and restricting at the same time, because it was an all-boys school. So we had a lot of plays, like nativity plays and stuff, and there were no women to play women's roles. And so I played a lot of the women's roles. So I was Mother Mary, I was Goddess Sita, I was... name it. And so, in the beginning, the teachers would choose the effeminate child, which I was very easily, and the Gora Chitta child, who would, the stereotypes of what it is to be a woman. And then later, when we got free will and we understood the concept of choice, I would elect very happily the women's roles. And my mom and my dad would helped me get the uniform. So I wore the uniform of his executive assistant, including a bra and a shirt. And in some ways, this was very normal because there was nobody else to do it. And then, of course, in some ways, it was not the world that was outside. So this was my safe space when I was in drama. But the minute I would be out of the drama classes and I would be in more the sports, and I was forced into doing things that I maybe was not strong enough for, that's when I realized that, the world is not safe for a queer kid. And at that time, kids, we did not know all of the LGBTQIA+++ and what queerness was. So I didn't have the vocabulary to explain myself. I always knew that I was happy, but at the same time I was unhappy. And I thought that maybe escaping to other countries would allow me to be the person that I am. And therefore, there were two things that I really put my mind on. One was my parents. My mom and dad were very busy building their empire, which is a deep-rooted, homegrown Indian brand, now called the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group, but originally Bharat Hotels, and that's the mother company. And they really wanted me to study hospitality. And I had a very strong will, and I had a very strong mind. And I said, no, if I study hospitality and you want me to work in hospitality, I will only have learned one thing all my life. I want to study something else, and then I want to come and learn how to be in hospitality. So I insisted on studying law, and I did law and business studies, and I did my BA in Warwick. To be really honest, I wanted to do drama. I wanted to learn film and theatre, but that was not an option. I think I pushed many things. And the other thing was that I thought I would be able to be myself when I went to Warwick, but that turned out to be mini India. And that was actually the most in the closet I ever was. And that's when I actually had a girlfriend, and I pretended to the world that I was straight. It was only after I went to King's College London and then subsequently did my LLM at SOAS, that's when I really became free. And that's when I said, I'm going to live my truth. And my parents knew, but I had that chat with them. Few mistakes I made. We'll get to that.
Got it. So, of course, quite a roller coaster ride for you there. Yeah. And in the end, thankfully, you could come out of the closet and you could tell the world that this is what you are and who you are. But was it like, how did the family take it? Like, what was your father's reaction then?
So, it was...
Did they tell you, no, you're thinking wrong, nahi, aisa nahi hai, aisa hai, ye to aisa feeling ho raha hai?
So they were not shocked. I mean, if they were buying bras for a 17-year-old and putting me in makeup and wigs,
right?
I'm not sure why they had a shocked, hey, kya hua? Ladla bigad gaya and all that. I was also vegetarian. I came out as a vegetarian when I was 12. I think that broke my father's heart, Punjabi father's heart, much more than me coming out as gay. what I did, the mistake I did was I said, I think I'm gay. So their immediate reaction was, it's a phase.
Yeah.
It will pass. You haven't found the right girl. Then there were no role models for queerness. Remember 90s and 2000s. Pretty much everybody gay, in particularly gay men, all ended up with HIV or were living with HIV or were dying of HIV. That was the imaging we had. That is that is what my parents were also taught or were fed. They were also victims of what was being put out in the media. But it's funny because my father had many, many openly gay friends. Friends like Mr. Anil Nanda, who used to run escorts, to Rohit Bal, to so many designers who all didn't get married to women and ended up and he was great friends with them. My mother is a divine diva. All the gays look up to her, old and new. Amarnath, who's the owner of Neemrana hotels. These were people, Amarnath and Ritu Dalmia were also petitioners in the 377 case. These were friends of my father.
Right.
So it was not that he didn't know. It's just that I could have handled it better.
Got it.
Then he passed away after a year. And I couldn't really...
How old were you when he passed away?
I was 21.
And by then you actually told him, you came out of the closet and you told him everything. And he accepted and everything.
Not accepted. He just brushed it off as it's a phase. Then he had a wicked sense of humor.
Right.
Then he made a lot of jokes just between us. And then I never had that reckoning moment, which I did with my mother. But it's after my father passed away that I had to go back in the closet because my sexuality became secondary. First came working with my mother, making sure that the business is okay, making sure that she's okay, finishing my LLM. And then when she asked me to come back and work with her, that's when I said, I have to come out to my entire team because I don't want to be a water cooler conversation for my team. Already I'm dealing with being a Nepo baby, and I know we don't want to talk about that because, honey, I've done much more than my parents could have. Not being pompous. You edit that out, I still have a boss, my mother. But, already they were seeing, okay, there's this kid who's coming from UK, who studied law and business studies, not hospitality. I'm dealing with people that have been studying, working in hospitality for 30, 40 years. Then they have to deal with my sexuality. I was like, no, they will deal with that first.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So when your mother called you for the business,
yes,
she was managing it alone? Or
yeah.
Were your sisters also helping her?
My sisters were.
All the three sisters in the business?
So my second sister, it's a very beautiful story. And if you have, of course, you have a minute. I have three sisters, but I also have two sets of parents. It's my uncle and my aunt, Ramesh Suri and Ritu Suri. And my uncle and aunt never had any biological children. So they legally adopted my sister, Shraddha.
Second one?
The second one.
Right.
Under the understanding that we will all live together. So my Tayaji, my Taiji, I never call them Tayaji, Taiji. I call them Papa and Mama.
Wow.
And Dad and Mom. And us four kids, basically. Right. And we will all live together and that there will be no differences between each. I didn't know that she was legally adopted by them till I was 14. She didn't know that she was legally adopted by them till she was 12.
Wow, okay.
We just didn't ask. We just thought it was
normal. Did it matter?
It didn't. For us, it didn't. Because we thought that it was such a queer family. That yes, there are two mothers.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. One is a very, very busy working mother. So the other one is coming to the PTAs. My parent-teacher conferences, they thought Ritu Mama was my mother.
Wow. Because she only used to go.
Because she only used to go.
Okay.
When I became 12 or 13, that's when she decided that now it's time for her to work. She found her work at 50. And she started India's premier, and you would know this, school called Step by Step.
Of course.
So Delhi's first nursery school, and you know how difficult it is to get your kids in there.
The fabulous school, superb school right now.
Her idea, it was in Panchil Park, that's where I grew up. Right opposite, she did it. It was a nursery school. Then she made it into a world school in Greater Noida. And so she biologically may have not been able to have any children, but now she has thousands and thousands of
children.
kids.
Wow.
And she only did that after I became a certain age, so that all the kids had grown up. So she did that. My Shraddha, she then handled my father and my uncles. Also, we have another business called Subros, which is Suri Brothers. It manufactures car air conditioning for all of Maruti, now also Mahindra. It's the largest car manufacturing company. So unglamorous, so boring. So my sister took that on. My eldest sister Divya, she's a lawyer, trained lawyer. She was working under Mr. Arun Jaitley. And she then came into the business, but then later decided to more focus on her kids. And now she's looking more step by step. My youngest of the three sisters used to handle the human resources of the hotel.
Hospitality.
And she worked with dad.
Okay.
Then she worked with mom. Now she's doing so much more. So it's technically it's mom, Diksha and me.
Got it. The three of you running the hospitality arm. Yeah. So, as the show is all about the next gen and what's their relationship with their founders. So it's your father who founded the hotel.
Bharat Hotels.
And after a few years, your mother joined the company.
Yes.
And was it like they both were working together, or was it like uncle passed away and that's when auntie had to join the company?
No.
How was it?
He started Bharat Hotels. Within a couple of years, it was in 1984, 85 when we started. We were celebrating 40 years of Bharat Hotels.
Wow, congratulations.
Within a couple of years, he had an open heart surgery. He was severely diabetic and it was a very tough surgery. The minute he was recovering, which took a very long time, he made my mother joint managing director. At that time, to make your wife an equal stakeholder, talk about feminism. Wow. So she's been in the business since the 90s. And
she's practically the co-founder of the company.
She is the co-founder.
She is the co-founder. Fair enough.
And so no, it wasn't any shock or anything. She built it with him.
And today the brand is like going to the world. It's really, really good. That's amazing.
We're very proud to be Indian. Yeah. We're very proud to be a Make in India brand, an Indian success story. We're very proud of the fact that we are what you call, in its truest sense, Atithi Devo Bhava. And so, yes, this is attributed to my parents.
So when your mother called you from, you were studying abroad, after Warwick, did you do post-graduation?
So I did Warwick, which is where I did my BA in Law and Business Studies. Then I did a MSc, Masters in Science at King's College London in International Management.
Right.
And then I did an LLM at SOAS, which is School of Oriental and African Studies. Okay. And so I was escaping, to be honest.
You were just trying to stay away from India.
Overeducated, waste of space.
Right.
Honestly.
And then you got a call from your mother that, okay.
To be honest, at that time.
Got it.
I think originally my father passed away when I was in SOAS. I told her that whatever you want me to do, I'll do. She said, I want you to finish your degree in SOAS because I don't want you to live in regret that your father passed away and you gave it up.
Got it.
So I finished that. Then I came back. Then she said, it's time to come back. Then I worked for a very short time in Unilever, in Bombay, in Kala Ghoda. But it was a very short-lived internship. And then she said, ab bahut ho gaya, aaja.
Join karo ab hame.
Kaam pe lago.
So how was it जब auntie ने बोला कि काम पे लगो?
Yeah.
So what was the first day like and what was the first few months like?
So it was very.
Did she like train you? She had a fixed structure that this is what you're supposed to do, and for 3 months, 6 months you'll be trained and you have to give.
So immediately I started shadowing her and everything. It was very quiet, very in the background. I know, looking at me, you would not think that way, but I was learning. I was absorbing. She was making mistakes, I was noting those. I was making mistakes, I was noting those. But I was doing it very quietly and very subtly. I only found my footing when I opened Kitisu in 2011. And I think that's when everybody and things shifted for me. Her perception of me also shifted. My perception of myself shifted. And my success on the company started. In the meantime, I was also on many projects. So she's a projects person. So we had done the Great Eastern, Kolkata, which is India's oldest hotel. It is actually Asia's oldest hotel. It was my father's last acquisition before he passed away. And she took it on. I started going to that project in a big way. We went to Singapore a lot because it was Raffles is a hotel in Singapore, which is supposed to be oldest hotel. So when they renovated, they took Architect 61. Those are the ones that I have to say, my father and my mother, one thing they taught us was that never compromise on quality. Whichever part of India you may be, hire the best architects, hire the best interior designers. Don't pretend like as if you know everything. Hire people smarter than you.
Got it.
That's what I learned from her. And so I was learning, I was absorbing, I was picking up on these things. I was looking at how they would treat a woman in these meetings. I was looking at the side conversations. I was looking at she won't know anything about numbers. Let's make a fool of her. And I was looking at how she would handle that. Because it was also similar to how later they would be with me as a gay man. Right? And so I was picking up a lot on that. And I think it's better to be quiet in the beginning. Let people underestimate you.
Makes sense.
Let people think that you don't know anything, that you have nothing going on. And then you shatter their beliefs later.
Right. That's the best way of doing that, actually.
Yeah.
And when you join, there must be like a lot of people working in the company 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and literally build the company from the scratch. And looking at you, who's just joined and doesn't know a lot of things. So how was it for you to prove it to them? And how was it for them to actually respect you as the promoter?
So in the beginning, there was no respect. And they were also building their trust on me. I was also a brat. So, and that hasn't changed. I think, like I said, everything changed in 2011 with Kitty So.
Got it. That was your brainchild, your execution, everything yours.
And my mother gave me free range.
Completely.
To do whatever the F I wanted.
Got it.
And however I wanted to do it. What I wanted on the walls, the showers, the subversive twists. Right. The gay straight club in the entire world, I think.
Right.
Not give a F about who, what, where, when, have people come in. She allowed me to work with the best architects, interior design. Bobby Mukherjee is the one who designed it. I came into our lives because of the Calcutta Hotel. And she allowed me to be me.
Got it.
That was so successful.
How did you come up with this idea? Like, it was the first in the country, and you are known actually for Kitty So more than the Lalit hotels.
Oh, sure. But thanks, I'll take that.
So how did you come up with this idea that, okay, let's start a
very
club only
simple.
for gays?
If I were a woman, this is who I would be. I had a very idea of a woman. No?
Okay.
Let's not now just imagine it and let your viewers imagine it. What that idea of women is. Of course, now it will be cancelled. That idea has been shattered. If I were a woman, if I was a trans woman, if I was a drag queen, I would be Kitty So.
Got it.
And I started with that. Then it went into why internationally everybody says that, oh, we have to go outside to party because India has nothing. That was a big no-no for me. The other thing was, where were the queer spaces, queer affirming spaces? Decriminalization of homosexuality had happened in 2009 in the Delhi High Court. 2011, we were moving towards marriage equality. I didn't need a queer space, but I still needed a safe space for queers. Where was it in India? Or at least where was it in Delhi? And so I subverted, and I think all of that sort of led me to making this idea of Kitty So. And people like you, beautiful, straight, heterosexual men, came in there, saw this space, and were like, this is fine. I mean, big whoop.
Right.
And were like, okay, yeah, cool. The whole of Delhi was like, okay, yeah, cool. And then we, again, going with my ethos of my parents, don't compromise on quality. We brought the best artists, you know that, best DJs, best
Always the
performance
best parties
artists,
used to happen there, yeah.
best parties, great service, great alcohol, quality.
Got it.
And you can always throw it back at me saying that how such an exclusive place became the beacon of inclusion, but it had to start somewhere.
Makes sense. True. So when you joined, it was not just your mother. Was the sister also already there?
Yeah,
she was
Diksha
working
already
in the company.
working in the company.
So, and how many years was she already in the company?
She's 5 years older than me, so she had 5 years ahead of me.
Got it. So how was your relationship with her when you joined the company?
So in the beginning, it was a bit like she was mothering me. They all mothered me, all my sisters.
Right.
And over the course of time, like any great relationship, it's evolved. I now mother her. And motherhood is what? It's a feeling.
Right. True.
My aunt taught me that.
True.
And so now it's reverse. No, it's a great relationship.
So was she your mentor? She was helping you. This is what you're supposed to do, learn.
Always.
Guiding you.
Her husband is one of the topmost consultants in the world, in the country for sure. Worked at Aon, worked at Accenture. I use a lot of his guidance. She was a HR whiz herself. So
तो कभी ऐसी सिचुएशन नहीं आई है कि जब आपने कुछ और सोचा हो and आप नहीं सहमत हो, you're not okay with her viewpoints on how to run the hotel company.
बहुत बारी.
तो तब क्या करते हैं?
तो हम बात करते हैं, हम भाषा करते हैं, हम डायलॉग करते हैं. क्योंकि अगर हम डायलॉग नहीं करते ना, तो वो खत्म हो जाती है डेमोक्रेसी. And if you're running a democratic secular organization, you can't cut each other off. तो हम बात करते हैं. And either I convince her or she convinces me.
कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि दोनों में से कोई convince नहीं कर पाया and then you go into the mother and she is the one who's kind of taking the last call.
So it's very beautiful in this relationship. This is why I always promote women and working with women. I don't know कि कैसा होता if my father was alive, and I don't know कि कैसा होता if I had a brother. But because I have my sisters and they really back me up, just like I back them up also. And I want you to ask this question to my sisters. I hope one day you get my sisters because they're also next in line.
Absolutely.
I have the ideas. I am the idea person. I am the one with the wild dreams. And I'm the dreamer. She's the operator. She's the one who controls the costs. She's the one who reins me in.
She gets it done. And she reins you in. Got
The
it.
real power is of the person in the background, not the silly person on
front.
camera.
True. We are the dreamers. We are the
Yes.
crazy people and wanting different things which has not happened before.
Yeah.
But practically how it is possible is them only who can get it done.
And my mom's very much like that. My father was the dreamer.
Okay. There's a right combination going for the hotels.
So yeah.
So what's your vision with the hospitality venture now?
So I want to really focus on India. I want to focus on
I'm so sorry. In how many cities are we right now?
12
12 cities of the country.
all over the country. So from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala, Bekal, to Calcutta, to a project coming up in Ahmedabad, to Mumbai, Bangalore, Jaipur, Udaipur,
Delhi, of course.
Delhi, Mangar in Faridabad, and a hospitality school. We are India's first owned by a hotel chain. It's called the Lalit Suri Hospitality School, and we have applied for, it's in Faridabad. We've applied for it to become a deemed to be university, and we are also making it into a skill center. I want to be a center of excellence for the entire world. I want to be the Lausanne, the La Roche, the Cornell of India, supplying hospitality skilled folks for the world. And I have no shame in saying that no job is menial enough. So I will supply you everybody from top to bottom, the foot soldiers to CEOs. It's for the entire hospitality industry, and I want people to take the hospitality industry seriously. We are anthropology. We're anthropologists. We study human behavior. Hospitality industry gets a very bad reputation. We get a bad reputation that we are bad paymasters, that we don't, there's no quality of life. I want to break all those images. I want your viewers to hear this. Two of the petitioners for the decriminalization of homosexuality in this country, Ritu Dalmia and Amarnath, are hospitality professionals. The lead right after them was me, a hospitality professional runner working. I've been working since 2007, so it's almost 20 years. And then the lead petition, the same-sex marriage petition, Shubhriyo Chakraborty, is a professor at IIHM, Hyderabad, which is the Indian Institute of Hospitality Management.
Got it.
We're much more than what the world dreams of. So that's my vision.
Yeah.
My vision is to be there.
Got it.
Is to spread out, is to be very proud in our ethics, our values, very proud on diversity, equity, and inclusion being a part of our DNA. Proud of the feminist ideologies that we have. Proud of the work that we do for the queer community. Proud of being heteronormative, inclusive, and allowing straight people to come in. We need your money, and be very proud in that. So that's my vision, and hopefully to be able to take it all over the country. I want to focus on India.
And we want to stick only to the country. We're not going to take it international.
Right now, but if anybody wants to take me international, I'm more than happy to.
Right.
But for now, my focus is, there's so much of potential here.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities.
And it's a 5-star category only. We want to do
Right now, it's only 5-star. But I'm having this idea of doing hostels, maybe under the brand of Kitty Sue.
Okay.
So it's more like postgraduate accommodations, very cheap, less than 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees, like a dormitory.
Got it.
But
Got
a
it.
Kitty Sue twisted dormitory.
Makes sense. Got it.
So it's an idea. If any investors out there wants to invest in me and this idea, I think it can work.
I'm sure.
And I want to do it here. My husband, who's French, runs a cosmetic brand called Chrono Care, and now is running all the spas across the group called Spiceology. And he soon is launching a Kitty Sue beauty cosmetic line. And so along with that is what I want to do with the hostel, keeping in mind, like you said, I'm known for Kitty Sue.
Right.
Taking that brand. So then it's not attached to the Lalit, which is a 5-star luxury brand. And therefore I don't reduce it or, let the Lalit continue be the luxury, the Indian luxury, inclusive luxury.
Right.
And then I have the bit of craziness of Kitty Sue. So then, why did you think of having me on this podcast?
So, Keshav, number one, you are the nexxtinline. Number two, you have been facing challenges right from the bottom of your career, of your life and everything. So I just wanted the next generation to see one person, to see one story, that a person who's already fighting with himself, what all he did to fight and to make his space in his family legacy. Because for a next gen, to create his own name is his only dream. It's the first dream, I would say, when he enters in the family company, or probably he takes over the family legacy. Look at Aryan Khan now, Shah Rukh Khan's son.
Yes.
I'm so sure before launching his movie, his series on Netflix,
Yeah.
every second of his life, he was questioning himself, will I be able to match my father's aura, his brand name? I really wish I'll not fail. Like imagine if this bombed and this failed.
Yeah.
Imagine what he would have gone through. And a lot of people, they don't realize that for next gen, failure is not an option.
Yeah.
And you get so stereotyped right away. I mean, you'll find so many founders who have had 7 companies and they failed, and the 8th one became like a unicorn. And they take it as stars on their body, that 7 failed startup and now 8th one is a unicorn. But with the next gen, with 1 failed or 2 failed things in their own company or probably their startup, they'll be termed as silver spoon, बस की नहीं है, काम नहीं कर पाएंगे, मेहनत नहीं करते हैं. Privileged nepo kids. This is what I wanted to change, and you were a prime example of that, who's done it brilliantly while fighting with himself. I mean, I would like to know more कि जब आपने वो पहली बार बताया था, you must be going through that loneliness, that fear, मैं बताऊं नहीं बताऊं. तो that feeling, you were already fighting, and अंदर भी जंग चल रही है, बाहर भी जंग लड़नी है. तो वो कैसे आपने मैनेज किया है, कैसे आपने पापा को, मम्मी को बताया वो?
So I have to give you also some context of जो लड़ाई courts में चल रही थी for
Right.
queerness.
Got it.
थोड़ी सी history उसमें.
Please.
और फिर then my journey with it. And that will give you also कि कहाँ पर हमें लड़ाई लड़नी पड़ी. as a gay man, as queer folks, कितने battles हमने करने हैं, कितने closets को हमें shatter करने हैं. So the original fight started in 1999 by a lady named Anjali Gopalan, and she started something called NAS Foundation. She worked with the sex worker community, and in particular for the sex worker community, HIV. In the sex worker community, there's something called M2M, MSM, which is male sex with men. And in that, they were finding that there were a lot of unprotected sex happening, and therefore unreported cases of HIV. A lot of these men were straight men that were going back to their homes, giving it to their wives, and then their wives were getting pregnant and passing it on to their children.
My God.
She created a shelter home to adopt those children. However, when she went to the NHRC, which is the National Human Rights Commission, they said, we can't do anything till this law doesn't go down. This Section 377 was a gift of our colonial masters, our British masters, Victorian morality. They gave it to all their colonies. So in Kenya, in Singapore, and it's all either 77A or 77 So then she filed a petition in the courts, 2001. And you know how the court is tariq pe tariq. So it went on and on and on and on till finally in 2009, it was decriminalized. So when I came out, it was still a criminal offense in India.
Wow.
So remember that I was, and therefore my parents thought that it was a criminal offense. They also thought that I will never get married, never have children, there is no future for me.
Right.
When I started working in 2009, this happened, it was a big relief, sigh of relief. But again, remember 2009 was a different world. It was a very, social media was not there. So there was not hoo-ha too much about it. 2013, Supreme Court decides that it's too minuscule a minority for us to care about. So they overturned that decision. That's when the lawyers on it, Saurabh Kirpal, Menika Guruswamy, Arundhati Kharju, they decided to knock on privileged folks' doors, saying now we need to show to the Supreme Court that there are gays and lesbians that exist and we're not a minuscule minority. You have to care about us. So they went to Navteej Singh Johar, who is, the case is named after. He is a beautiful classical dancer. His husband, Sunil Mehra, Mr. Amarnath of Nimrana, Ritu Dalmia, who is a chef. She owns the Diva restaurants, as you know. GK mein.
Yeah, very famous.
She brought Italian food to India.
True.
And then Aisha Kapoor, who was a marketing guru. How do you go back to the Supreme Court? It is all about maneuvering, because their strategy was how. So you can only have two options: a curative petition, or you have petitioners who go directly to the court. So then it became a curative petition. This is the first time that there were individual queer, openly gay and lesbian petitioners. Then they got me, and basically till then they were all 60 plus. I was the youngest. Then after that, there were 20 IIT petitioners from the age group of 18 all the way to 70. Then there was a floodgate of petition where the Supreme Court said, ab bas ho gaya. There are enough and more gay and lesbian people that exist. We see them. That was filed in January, and by 2018, it was read down. Section 377 was read down by a unanimous decision by the 5-bench constitutional bench. So curative petition, or you go to the constitutional bench. So that was my part in my struggle in the history to push. I have to say that I was very lucky. Media was very supportive. Queer narratives were beautiful. I've only talked to you about gay and lesbian. I have not talked to you about transgender, because in India, transgender has had a separate battle. The trans community won their rights in 2014, 5 months after the overturning of the 377 case. Can you imagine? But they lobbied, and they lobbied hard. Now in India, trans community is a very historic community. We all have seen Hijra and Kinnar people, right? They were also a community that was completely removed by the British, because they didn't understand how there are more than two binaries. The Hijras and the Kinnars were given a lot of respect in the Mughal times and in other times. The the British couldn't understand that. So they completely removed them. We have actually had them in our history books for years. They lobbied very visibly. That led to the transgender protection bill that was put in the parliament by the legislature in 2019, that led to the Transgender Persons Act passed by this present government in 2021 with it was a members bill, private members bill, and it had no opposition. That goes to show how progressive India is and how progressive we are for the T of the LGBT community. That was something that I had earlier. The gays and lesbians were fighting their battle, trans were fighting their battles. I had said, no, I want to bring them all together. That is how I really worked on. We are the largest company that hires trans folks in the country.
Wow.
We are the largest company that brings also all the transgender gurus. They all know the Lalit. They all find the Lalit as their home. I've brought this because at the end of the day, the trans holds the power in the LGB in India. It's the reverse all over the world.
Okay.
You know, all over the world, Donald Trump, there is an attack on, he said there are only two genders. There's no third gender. India recognizes the third gender. India gives safety and security to the third gender. I'm pushing a lot of that, working with a lot of policy. So that was my thing. Now I have to ask you, because in 2018, I also launched my foundation, Keshav Suri Foundation.
True.
With its motto to embrace, empower and mainstream the LGBTQI plus community.
Right.
That happened because I didn't want to be a vapid petitioner. I wanted to put my money where my mouth is. Like you said, failure was not an option. But also I didn't want to be like, ye apni community ke liye to kuch nahi karta. So what is he fighting for? That was the difference also between me and some of my other petitioners.
Makes sense.
I had a lot of people working in the LGBTQ community in my team already that had changed policies in my company. So one of my folks in Mahi transitioned. She was a telephone operator in Kitisu. She transitioned. She got same-sex insurance, same-sex bank account. I went to insurance companies and said that I have to change the insurance policies, gender-neutral toilets, gender-neutral lockers, and, you know, back and front of the house. And it takes one person to change a company. Why did you decide to, you know, give your time and energy to Keshav Suri Foundation?
I mean, all the reasons you've already said, and I truly believe that we are no one to judge anyone. And I in fact think that why so much of struggle was, you had to go through so much of time, 20 years of fight. 1999 में से लेकर अभी तो इतना fight किया है एक basic चीज के लिए, which is to identify yourself as part of the country and look at us as us. So for me, no one should be having that power to judge you. Everyone is created by God, and you are the flag bearer of something which is really, really good in the country. And
the fight's not over.
It is forever. So can you give me an example of what all anyone goes through? Like कि कोई example जैसे उनको नौकरी नहीं देते हैं, काफी सारे लोग नौकरी नहीं देते हैं उन्हें, काफी सारे लोग डरते हैं कि यार and if for example if I am sitting next to a trans or if I'm sitting next to someone queer and I will be not comfortable. काफी लोग comfortable नहीं होते. Can you just give me examples of a actual situation?
I'll give you examples, but I'll also then give you a little bit more of where the fight is. So examples are that देखो ट्रांस कम्युनिटी को बोला था कि आप सिर्फ सेक्स वर्क कर सकते हो या आप बेगिंग कर सकते हो या बधाई कर सकते हो. तो उनको बस यही सिखाया था कि आप, और फिर हमें बच्चों में सिखाया था कि ट्रांस आएंगे और ले जाएंगे
चकोटा के.
That's so untrue. To demonize.
True.
This is what it was. We demonized a community. Now imagine telling a community कि you can only do sex work, you can only do begging. You have no other option in life. How much you have to work with them? You are talking about you're not feeling comfortable. What about them?
Absolutely.
Making themselves feel uncomfortable by standing in front of us.
True.
So of course.
There's so much to struggle. So that's the reason
क्या है basis? Two things we want as human beings. Dignity, a life of dignity. लिखा हुआ है हमारी constitution में. देखो हमारी constitution ना affirmative action की सबसे number one constitution है. We are taught that in our schools, whether it is Dalit, whether it is intersections of religion, women, and of course, over the course of time, all the wrongs of the British impositions into the constitution, we have corrected. And so therefore, we are much more inclusive than we give ourselves credit for. But there is a right to dignity. That's what we want. And the other thing is right to love. Now, we've got the dignity with companies like mine, companies like Godrej, but we still don't have the right to love. And I'll tell you why. In 2023, the Constitutional Bench did not allow for same-sex marriage, did not allow for same-sex marriage benefits. That woke us up again कि देखो अब आप criminals नहीं हो, but उससे ज़्यादा क्यों मांग रहे हो कुछ? तो आप फ्रिंज में ही रहो और अपने फ्रिंज में ही खुश रहो. क्यों मांग रहे हो हमारे से राइट्स? बट व्हाट आर वी टेकिंग आउट ऑफ योर्स? वी आर नॉट taking away rights from straight folks. We're just adding to the rights of what is taken for granted by majority.
True.
तो फाइट तो अभी बाकी है. हमारे लिए भी थोड़ा सा वेकअप कॉल था कि देखो मे बी वी हैवंट लॉबीड इनफ, मे बी वी हैवंट कल्चर्ड इनफ, मे बी दे नॉट टॉक टू बॉलीवुड इनफ, वी डोंट हैव इनफ हीरोज दैट आर ओपनली गे एंड लेस्बियन. सो वन ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई वी केम अप विद द प्राइड फंड इंडिया is that I worked with Radhika Piramal, who's from the VIP Piramal family. And in India, at some point, there were only two out corporate folks, Radhika and me, which is not true. But Radhika, me and Parmesh Sahani from Godrej Culture Labs, it was his idea. And he said, no, we need to find, because a lot of well-meaning people like you, Mohit, have always come to me, Parmesh and Radhika, and said, हम क्या कर सकते हैं? एक structure दो. We want to donate to the community. So now we said, here is Pride Fund India. So what is the purpose of it? One was because we want further equality. But the other is because there has been such a big attack on the UN, USAID and funding from outside that we said, okay, we will start it from within India for India. And it is first time Dasra, and I want everybody to go and see what Dasra does. They basically worked with us as the anchor partner. And we have now been able to raise over 5 crores per year for 3 years. So 5 into 3, usse bhi zyada. And we are funding now 20 grassroots NGOs. Because this was brought up in the same-sex marriage petition. कि ये privileged लोगों की शौक है. ये रूरल इंडिया में नहीं चाहते. ये अर्बन एलीट प्रॉब्लम है. इट इज नॉट अर्बन एलीट. द NGOs working, the 20 NGOs that we have spotlighted, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, rural areas of West Bengal, इंडिया में 51 प्राइड मार्चेस होते हैं, out of which 49 केशव सूरी फाउंडेशन सपोर्ट्स. ये होते हैं छत्तीसगढ़ में, ये होते हैं नागपुर में. यहाँ पर जो लोग जाते हैं ये प्रिविलेज लोग नहीं जाते, ये अर्बन एलीट नहीं जा रहे. ये जो कह रहे हैं ना कि रियल इंडिया, ये रियल इंडिया है. आप अभी न्यूज़ में देखोगे तो एक लेस्बियन कपल सुंदरबन में शादी की उन्होंने. सुंदरबन इज अ रूरल एरिया इन वेस्ट बंगाल.
Of course.
These are not urban elites, Mohit. This is not urban elite people wanting rights. Queerness is not an urban elite
No,
issue.
that's absolutely right.
And so therefore we have to change that image.
So this is your foundation is doing, and
this
you're
my
taking it
foundation
forward.
is doing through
That's
the
amazing.
Pride Fund as well.
That's amazing.
With the support of folks like you. And when was your first experience with a trans person, a hijra or a kinnar person?
I think as you rightly said, वो जो बधाई देने आते हैं, जब हम नया घर लेते हैं तब वो आते हैं. कभी-कभी हम लोग को रेड लाइट्स में मिलते हैं, तो वो पहले एक्सपोज थे. 15-20 साल पहले गे और लेस्बियन हमें नहीं पता था क्या होता था, लेकिन ट्रांस पता था कि, और ट्रांस हिजड़े जो बोलते हैं कि वो होते हैं. तो वो एक्सपीरियंस था, तो उनसे कभी भी ऐसा डर या कुछ ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था, बिकॉज वी वर ऑलरेडी एक्सपोज्ड टू देम.
And has your mind over the course of time changed about the trans community?
So you would be very happy to know that as a company we also have few employees
I'm so happy.
who are from this community. and we are very open. We look at the capability, we don't look at anything else. And again, I'll give you a very small incident that when coincidentally that person was hired, and when the person was hired, that's when my HR team got to know that what he or she is. And they called me that, sir, we've already hired and we've already given the letter. What should we do? I was like, why are you even calling me? What's the question all about?
Yeah.
Was him or her okay in terms of capability? That person can do the job properly? Then, yeah, the HR said that, yeah, she can do the job properly. We can forget about all this.
This is why representation matters, right? And you can try and walk in everybody's shoes, but if you don't have people who actually walk in those shoes now, it'll just remain as a policy.
True.
It'll just
True.
remain on paper. What is your, what about lesbians? I mean, okay, you gay men thing, but if you had a lesbian in your life, would you paint them in the same brush that you're painting everybody else? Do you look at the intersections of LGBT separately, or do you club them all together?
It's all together. It's absolutely all together. Another really close friend of mine, she is from the business community. She runs a great company, and she's lesbian. And it just didn't bother. I mean, कुछ भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. अब तो बिल्कुल फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. पहले
And bisexuals?
I don't think I've met anyone like that. Probably someone's not open in front of me.
Most
people are
bisexual.
Great.
Sexuality is a spectrum.
Okay.
And imagine if we ignore the bisexuals a lot. Imagine if bisexual folks came out, then we would be everywhere.
Yeah.
And if they felt, but it's because gays and lesbians have ostracized them because they believe that nothing exists as bisexuality. Straight folks also, whilst they may be, they've sort of made them believe that this is just, a phase, or it's just thing. So they're not seen, they're not visible enough. And I think that maybe if they were...
That's what I'm saying. I'm not exposed to one, so I can't say anything of that sort from that particular community.
Okay.
So
now you ask.
Coming back to you.
Sure.
Coming back to the Nexxt topic.
Yeah.
It's you, your sister, who is managing the hospitality division with your mother.
Yes.
If I talk about succession, so what is the succession plan? And in the end, there has to be, like, right now, the veto power is with your mother.
Yes.
She's the leader.
Yes.
In the next generation, who do you think is going to take that particular role? Because there has to be one leader.
One of the things that works beautifully with Diksha and me is that we both are not going to have children. We've decided we're not having any children. So when my uncle, let me give you a little bit of a background. When my father passed away, it was my uncle, my aunt, and my mom who stayed in one house. In the second wave of the pandemic, my uncle, Ramesh, passed away. And then after that, my aunt passed away, Ritu Mama, 9 months later. And then my mom became alone in that house. So my sister Diksha and Jaidev, my brother-in-law, moved in. The logical conclusion would have been that the son moves in, right? But I think mom and I came to this beautiful understanding. Firstly, all four of us sat together, my sisters and me, and said one of us will move in. But we came to this beautiful understanding because I'm married to my husband and we have our own very queer life. She was like, no, let it be Diksha, Jaidev and their dog, #. What works very well is that we don't have kids. Neither she wants kids, nor do I. I can't have, technically, because surrogacy is banned in the country. Men can't adopt as per the various POSCO law. I'm not recognized. My husband's not recognized in India. Our marriage is legal in France because he's French. But in India, he's not recognized at all. He's still on a business visa. And Diksha and Jaidev don't want to have any kids. And so this works beautifully.
But that's the third generation.
Between the two of us, we've come to the conclusion that both are going to become managing directors. And if one of us becomes the CMD, we have no problem with the other one.
But that's true. But has this already been decided that who's going to become the CMD?
You have to ask my mother that.
Done. Got it. And what about equity, giving equity, because there are other sisters as well?
Yeah.
Probably they're not working in the company, but they must be the owners. They must be having some equity in the company.
I have a very clear vision. 25% of everything that I own in a month and in a year is going to go to Keshav Suri Foundation, my charitable causes, my pride fund. As a family, we own 98% shareholding of Bharat Hotels. Eventually, I would like to take it as an IPO, or eventually, I would like to have a private equity player.
But what about the four of you?
But between the four of us right now, the largest shareholder is my mother. And therefore, whatever she gives us, we absolutely accept. We're not working for the equity, Mohit.
No, but I agree. But you know what? This becomes a point of conflicts. So it's better like
for
jab bhi
men. This is all the heterosexual men that have conflicts.
I can give you loads of examples of two sisters fighting cats and dogs with each other.
But they don't have me.
Got it.
But anyway, you're right on the succession planning. And I'll tell you, so we, like I said to you, we work like a public listed company. We are working with the best minds when it comes to consultants. We're making it as a great place to work. My mother is building her own succession plan. And we've had many conversations. So let's put this perspective. Shraddha has no shareholding in Bharat Hotels. So hers is Subro's. Largest shareholder of Subro's is also my mother. So yes, you're right. There will all be that. But I think we've come to this beautiful understanding, which we will do whilst my mother is alive.
Got it. Of course. Gotcha.
And we will sort it out now itself. So that Subro's is untouched, Bharat Hotels is untouched. And whatever are these sort of complications, we will never do amongst ourselves.
Got it. But कभी आपको ऐसा लगता है कि अंकल होते तो शायद आपको ज़्यादा तवज्जो मिल रही होती, आपको ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट मिल रही होती और आपको शायद ज़्यादा ये CMD की जो कुर्सी है वो डेफिनेटली आप ही की होती?
नहीं, क्योंकि एक तो my father and I would have had many fights. And my father and I would have been at odds a lot. Two dreamers can't be in the same room. Two giant egos will always burst.
Okay, so do you also think कि...
But my sisters were always a part of the business.
Yeah.
And he was very clear that they were going to be a part of the business. My mother was joint managing director. She is right now the single largest shareholder of the company. She was a large shareholder when he was alive too. So no, this would have...
And also ये mostly देखा गया है कि is it father son जिसमें लड़ाई होती है, it's mother daughter जिसमें लड़ाई होती है? Is it because the same sex they have large egos?
I don't know. I think it's also because I think maybe dialogue, you cut yourself off. I don't understand why we get very icky on conversations like this. Look at some success stories like Godrej, for example. Godrej did one of the most beautiful exits, family divorces that has ever been in the recorded history of fourth generation.
True.
It's also because they conversed with each other. They talked to each other. They continued having those Sunday lunches. They continued to think, and each one found their own ground and was happy in the world that they created. And that's exactly how we will be. I know it's idealistic. I know it's also, I'm living in delusion land. But I have lived my life in delusion land. I want to continue this way.
But कभी ऐसा हुआ है that one of your brother-in-laws probably are trying to interfere in the family?
But not at all, because see, the three of my brother, other than Jaydev, who's a freelance consultant, who's living with my mother and my sister, and we are working with him. So he's working on, performance-related pay, ESOPs for my team. My future is my team. The third generation is going to be these guys behind me because they're going to take the company forward.
Got it.
We have a beautiful relationship. Shraddha's husband is an accountant. So he does his own practice. And Divya's husband is in retail of garments. He's a garment exporter.
They have nothing to do with the company.
And they never will. And we will never have the men tell us what to do. Sweetie. Just remember that.
Right. Okay, so I think I got many of my answers.
Yeah.
And among your sisters also, कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि you guys are sitting together and lunch पे business discussion चलता है, or is it always just the family?
We try and avoid business discussions, but even if we do, we get very animated. We are loud, we are obnoxious, we scream. And being the youngest, I have to put my foot down. So most of the time, the attention is on me.
And, Auntie has gone through so much.
Yeah.
And she's been like a rock, taking care of the family, the business. And not just she's taking care of it, she scaled it to a level from where uncle probably would have never imagined कि यहाँ तक पहुँच जाता है brand.
4 hotels to 12 hotels.
To 12 hotels, everything owned and
the hospitality school, her gift to the hospitality industry.
To the world.
And to the world.
To the world, I would say. So what's one thing you kind of think यार ये मेरे अंदर होता है ना मम्मी का तो मैं तो अभी 120 होटल खोल देता.
दिल होना चाहिए. I think that's what I need from both my parents and my mom and my dad.
Dil in the sense you're talking about like care kind or like
No,
jigra
just have
in
a
terms
heart,
of
jigra.
Jigra you mean?
To be like
कि
करो,
bold decision. करो आगे बढ़ो देखिए.
करो निकलो. Do it.
Okay.
Don't be so intellectually masturbating all the time.
Got it.
Stop thinking.
Don't
Do
analyze
it.
so much. That's one thing I would like comment. And what about uncle?
The same.
The same
they
thing
both
from
have
you.
the same. They both were so open-hearted and so large-hearted and courageous. But I think I've done also a lot.
Oh, you've done.
And I think
you've done. I think.
Yes.
Quite courageous stuff as well. Right from the beginning of your life.
In some ways, I've got a lot of them.
Right.
And I think my determination is what keeps my mother thinking that I am a lot like my father. To have that strength and that resilience. What I need from my mother is resilience. She's been through so much.
Keep going, keep going.
Keep going. Up, down, business gone, husband gone, people trying to be like vultures.
True. I'm sure kabhi
Pandemic gone.
Yeah.
Business going from 100 to 0.
True.
You went through it, real estate also went 0.
We didn't know kal kya hoga, khatam.
Then my cousin, who was gay, was my guru of gayness, passes away through suicide. So my Keshav Suri Foundation, my Aditya Nanda scholarship is on my cousin's name. That happened in 2020. He was a son to her. It was like she lost a child.
My God.
So now that's why we work a lot on mental health. That is why we also, I don't know if you know this, but we do scholarships at universities. Our own Lalit Suri Hospitality School, but also Indian School of Hospitality and lovely professional university. And any university that wants to take a scholarship for LGBTQ students. But that's named after him. She's seen all of that.
Wow.
She's still standing.
That's insane.
Of course, what she's been through, we've been through too. So in some way, I'm resilient too. But she's the mother.
True.
And to hold her son's hand and get him married. And then to tell her friends, Delhi society, that this is my son and this is his husband.
Got it.
And to dance with me, and I did drag in wedding where I did Kaisi Pahelis in the Ghani dance. And you can see it on YouTube. And I'm dressed up as full woman, dancing next to my mother, who's giving her son away to get married to another man, but has no problem with her son dressing and paying homage to women.
That's actually really, really kudos to her, what she's done with the family and the business. In business also, another thing, I mean, this is so many times, you guys must be thinking that you're running 12 hotels. Is there and you own the lands. So कभी ये दिल में आया है ख्याल कि हम 12 में से 2 होटल किसी और से टाई अप कर लेते हैं, ताज से, मैरियट से, and let them run the show, let me focus on say 6 hotels. कभी भी ऐसा हुआ है?
No, पहले maybe हुआ होगा in 2006 or 2000. Now we're so strong as a brand, the Lalit. Whether it is known for its diversity, equity in practices, whether it is known as a homegrown brand, whether it is known for it being Atmanirbhar. We're so proud in our ethos, our values, our respect for individuals in the world. Like, you know us for that.
Right, true.
Nobody will be able to manage us, honey. And we're too much.
Got it. So we have this round called rapid fire questions. Rapid fire round where I'm going to ask you quick questions. I'm expecting quick answers.
Okay, done.
Here you go. Your proudest moment as Keshav, not as a Suri.
Reading down a section 377.
If you weren't in hospitality, what would you be doing today?
A filmmaker, for sure.
You are a film yourself.
I know, honey.
Who's the family peacemaker in heated discussions? You, your mom, or Cyril?
My mom.
When did you know, Cyril, your husband is the one?
You know, he's my first boyfriend.
Are you serious?
I married my first boyfriend.
Wow.
Now I'm questioning.
I think even if you're going to marry the 5th boyfriend, you'll be questioning him. That happens. That's marriage. Weirdest guest request you've ever received?
So, you know, we do all these all-inclusive, we say it's inclusive, inclusive celebrations, inclusive things. So a lot of the guests have said, do you mean inclusive of taxes? What does all-inclusive mean?
Midnight craving after a long day at work?
candies.
What's spicier, your parties or your opinions?
My opinions, of course.
Your gay man superpower.
I can imagine all men naked in my head.
One leadership rule you always break.
A dress that you will wear a suit and you'll make more money.
Of course. Hotter. Clubs abroad or gossip in India?
Gossip in India.
3 words your team uses for you.
Fascist dictator, Nepo baby.
One hospitality rule you always bend.
No, I think because hospitality is so inclusive of everyone and everything that there's nothing that we actually bend. We do namaskar to everybody.
Wow. Most dramatic city you've ever lived in?
I've ever lived in.
You've been to?
Paris.
Paris.
For sure.
Sweet, spicy or scandalous? Your default vibe?
I think I'm sweet. No, what do you think? You answer this.
I think you would be all 3. Sweet, spicy, scandalous.
Spicy, I would say, because my husband's brand is Spiceology.
Oh, so we got to promote him as well.
Of course. Yeah. Plug. Shameless plug.
One word for your DMs right now.
Oh, that is for the kids. I'm not into any of social media.
A queer leader you inspire. Who inspires you?
Radhika Piramal. And yeah, there are many. But Sam Altman is gay openly, the founder of ChatGPT and OpenAI. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple.
Sure.
So there are many actually.
Any Bollywood actor you would have crush on?
I'm not sure about actors, but I definitely had a diva crush on Rekha, Madhuri Dixit, Sridevi, and Rekha in her Madam X and Khun Bhari Mang.
All that.
Yeah.
Got it. So here were my questions. Thank you so much for all the answers.
Thank you,
We're going to ask you one last question, which is a signature question, which is, how do you define legacy?
By being true to yourself and being true to your values and never compromising.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for doing this, Keshav.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you for having
me.
Lovely meeting you too.
So ye the Keshav Suri, who's been fighting for his identity since childhood. Not even knowing what is he, who is he, without even sharing with anyone. Losing his father at such a young age. Being the flag bearer of the LGBTQ plus community. Winning the case in Supreme Court in 2018. Taking the legacy of hotels from 4 hotels to 12 hotels today. Keeping the brand intact. Launching a university with a vision of sending the skill and the human resources from India to the world. If all of this doesn't prove for a next gen that legacy is inherited, leadership is built, what else does?